Hello, I'm David Young. I'm president of an organization called Skycross here in San Antonio, Texas. I became interested in Skycross when I met the founder of Skycross in 1993 while we were both serving in the United States Air Force Civil Air Patrol. Terry Bleak retired as a full bird colonel from the Air Force, having served as a forward controller in Vietnam, and then his last duty assignments was as a head of controllers at Randolph Air Force Base here in San Antonio. So that's the reason why he was in San Antonio when I met him. And he retired about age 55. And as a result, he still had a lot of life to live. But he didn't want to do what he called double dipping on society. So he and his wife formed Skycross that would be all volunteer. There would be no paid staff, including himself, and that would allow 100% of the donations to go to the poor that Skycross serves. He even pays out of pocket to this day because he still flies with me on the missions of Skycross for the transportation. We'll buy sometimes two tons of food, which comprised of beans and rice, maseka, pasta, and so forth. And we take it to the missionaries, who then take it across the border and distribute it to the families they know are in need. And while we were flying in Civil Air Patrol, we often flew what was called counter drug missions for the U.S. Customs, and that was along the Texas-Mexico border. And we'd fly those missions around 500 to 1,000 feet above the surface along the river, notating coordinates of activity that we were seeing. And while we were doing that, Terry would point out some of the locations that he was wanting to serve, and information about some of the missionaries along those routes that we would fly. And we flew the entire length of the Rio Grande River. So it gave us a lot of time to talk and for me to learn about Skycross. So in 1998, I flew the first Skycross mission with Terry from San Antonio down to Laredo, where we picked up some food for the missionaries in Laredo that helped the poor on this side of the border. And after that mission, and having talked with Terry so many times, most of his board was made up of retired military people from around the country, and he wanted my wife and I to be on the board as well here in San Antonio. This inward passion that I have for the work of Skycross is my love for the poor. It's just kind of been instilled in me through my parents, and some of the things they would ask that I consider and do even as a child. One location that we're helping over in Ethiopia, not just along the Texas-Mexico border, is a church that helps about 7 satellite churches out from their location there in Ethiopia. I want to just briefly read something that they wrote back to me, and I'm quoting. He said, "You should see the satisfaction on the face of families when they get the food to eat. The children were crying all around to have something. Uh, as soon as they got the food, all their tears were wiped away. That's what I saw with my own eyes during distribution. I can't tell you how much satisfaction we feel after giving the food you've helped to provide. Really, we are so grateful for the kindness, compassion, and generosity. We will never be able to pay back what you're doing for us." And that goes out to the people who help Skycross, because it's not just us, but it's those that help us to help the poor.